Welcome to Gani's podcast.
In 2019, the conventional wisdom about Sri Lanka's quick service restaurant landscape was brutally simple. Nobody builds an international food brand from Sri Lanka. The odds were insurmountable. The market was ruthlessly controlled by foreign behemoths with billion-dollar balance sheets. Local entrepreneurs were told to serve their neighborhoods, focus on local cuisine, and never attempt to outscale the global giants. Food trucks, they were dismissed as transient, unscalable novelties. But reality tells a different story. Fast forward to today. That exact unscalable food truck has exploded into a global brand. Crepe Runner operates 32 outlets across 5 countries, employs over 180 people, and has served over 3 million crepes. Wait, how did that happen? The year is 2019. The fast food sector is monopolized by American chains. Enter 18-year-old entrepreneur Abdus Salaam, alongside his co-founders Abdus Salaam and Mohammed Suhail. While every other aspiring restaurateur tried to scrape together hundreds of thousands of dollars for a brick-and-mortar restaurant, this trio made a deeply counterintuitive decision. They chose to sell crepes, a product nobody in the organized Sri Lankan market owned, and they chose to do it out of a food truck. Why? They saw what the giants missed. Food trucks strip up to 80% of standard startup capital. In a capital-constrained market, this wasn't a compromise. It was an existential advantage. In this industry, time is literally money. To survive the low margins of street food, Crepe Runner couldn't just cook well, they had to engineer time. Instead of treating the truck like a kitchen, they treated it like an assembly line. They ruthlessly designed their systems so a highly trained crew could produce a sweet crepe in exactly 1 minute and 50 seconds. Think of a Formula One pit crew, no wasted movements. This operational constraint generated a measurable result. A single station could pump out 32 crepes per hour. They nearly doubled traditional throughput, turning a tiny mobile footprint into an unyielding cash generation engine. Every great company survives a period of darkness. For Crepe Runner, that winter lasted from 2019 to 2024. Terrorist attacks devastated tourism overnight. Then came COVID-19 lockdowns. And if that was a body blow, 2022 was the knockout punch. Sri Lanka plunged into its worst economic crisis since independence. The rupee collapsed. Food inflation hit a staggering 94.5%. Crepe Runner had no venture capital cushion, so how did they not fold? They survived through ruthless agility. The food truck allowed them to physically move away from dead zones. In-house ingredients insulated them from volatile import costs. While traditional restaurants bled money on empty dining rooms, Crepe Runner pivoted entirely to delivery. In the darkest days of the crisis, when competitors were shutting their doors, Salaam made a defining pivot. Commercial real estate had crashed, so they secured premium locations at impossible rates. But the true trajectory-altering pivot happened in 2024. International expansion requires massive capital. Their bold action? They stopped trying to own everything. They transitioned to a franchise model, starting in Qatar. Franchising transferred the heavy capital requirements to partners, while Crepe Runner collected fees and royalties. It was the exact playbook Ray Kroc used to build the McDonald's empire, now weaponized by a Sri Lankan startup. Success wasn't an accident. It was built on 3 uncompromising pillars. First, frugal innovation. By focusing purely on crepes, they reduced inventory by 70%, resulting in near zero waste. Second, generational brand identity. They claimed youth culture with vibrant aesthetics, dropping marketing costs to near zero through organic social media. Third, location arbitrage. They leveraged existing delivery apps instead of building expensive proprietary networks. How did they beat the global giants? The giants offered generic concepts. Crepe Runner offered localized pride with immense perceived value. They achieved the hygiene of a multinational with the cost structure of a street vendor. Going global required calculated market sequencing. First, the Maldives, a safe sandbox to prove the model. Once proven, they deployed a highly systematized franchise replication model with rigorous training. This allowed them to enter the booming Qatar market and eventually the Philippines, introducing a new category to a fast food obsessed population. The future opportunity is massive. Crepe Runner is positioned to build a South Asian crepe monopoly, eyeing the $26 billion Indian market. But the threats are real. Quality control across borders and the danger of competitive mimicry from global giants mean they must rely fiercely on the brand loyalty they've cultivated. Start small, think global. Use economic constraints as forcing functions for creativity. Weaponize speed. Build cultural resonance instead of corporate uniformity. Master your unit economics before you scale. Everyone believed that nobody builds an international food brand from Sri Lanka. They believed that food trucks were unscalable and that an island devastated by crises could only play defense. Reality proved them entirely wrong.
The story was never really about crepes. It was about what happens when someone sees an opportunity. Others ignore it. It's a testament to the fact that the greatest competitive advantages aren't capital or country of origin, but rather creativity, resilience, and an unshakable belief that constraints are simply raw materials for innovation. The rules about what is possible were written by people never tried the impossible. Thank you. Thanks for watching Gani's podcast. If you like the video, please subscribe and like